Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Star Raptor. Welcome back to the channel. This is my comic book haul review for the Star Wars comics that came out on November 15th. If you like this video, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel where you never miss another one of my comic book reviews for Star Wars. So, first one to talk about, we have Star Wars Visions. That's right, it's the same kind of branding of the Disney Plus series of anthology. Now this one kind of spurs off of the Duel, sort of, I guess, not really, but it's that anime style, right? This is Peach Mamoka, who is very hot in the comic book world with her artwork. So she did the story and did the artwork, obviously. So this one is a brand new story. You know, the backstory is you have the Sith that have fallen, and there's a cult that has come up, and there's this character that is basically like an upstart that is trying to fight against this cult, and she has a lightsaber, and a lot of crazy stuff happens. I will say, wasn't a fan of the story simply because it's hard to tell a story this abstract with no dialogue. I mean, if you've read Peach Mamoka's Darth Vader Black, White, and Red story, then you know what to expect from it. Some crazy, grotesque, visceral images that are very ethereal. And to me, I had a hard time following this one, honestly, guys. It wasn't my cup of tea. That's, you know, there's not going to be every comic for every person, and this one definitely wasn't it. I could appreciate the artwork, but as far as the story, I wasn't really sure what the heck was going on. But hey, maybe give this one a shot. I know we have another Visions comic coming out in January. I believe it's by the same guy that did the Duel for the actual Disney Plus short. So go ahead and check that out. Getting into the Dark Droid storyline, it's very important that you read these in order this week. So you want to start with Dark Droids issue number 4, which is the flagship of that series, before you get into Doctor Aphra issue number 38, which we will talk about in a few moments here. So this one is called Scourge of the Droids. It's written by Charles Soule with artwork by Luke Ross. In this, we see the Empire has realized that the droids are now being hacked, or they're the Scourge. They're just going crazy. So Vizier Mazamida announces this to the Council of these Imperials, which I like that scene, by the way. And you see this kind of montage of the Imperials just taking apart any droids. Even though these droids are innocent, they're not possessed by the Scourge yet, and they're pleading, like, kind of like, you know, organics, like, don't kill me, don't deactivate me. It's kind of, you know, kind of sad in a way. So that was a really cool part, seeing that. We also get to see a lot more from the Scourge. The Scourge actually has a bit of a council now. He has somebody that's called the Warrior, somebody that's called the Scholar, somebody that's called the Child, and somebody that's called the Elder. So these 5 beings make up like the Scourge leadership, if you will, because at this point the Scourge has kind of infiltrated so many droid minds that it's actually spreading itself thin. So it has to sort of compartmentalize itself in order to function. So each, you know, one of these Scourge entities will be a focus onto different aspects of their overall mission. I liked how it was mentioned that this is their 3rd attempt. This is the Scourge's 3rd attempt to completely take over the world, organic and mechanical. And the reason why this one's going to probably work is because they have the Spark Eternal on their side. They did not have the Spark Eternal from the Ascendant the previous time. It was really neat seeing the Scourge's design, like that using actual human limbs connected with the mechanical constructs of the actual Scourge droid was really crazy. We get to see a lot from Violent Valance, Lobot, and Magna Tolvan, who of course are all cyborgs. So they are the ones that are kind of going out to this one communications array and coming up with this master plan of taking over this communications array, basically putting this virus on disk that the droids are going to now kind of distribute in a lot greater number around the galaxy, because that was the thing, right? It's kind of a task for these droids to go and infect one droid at a time, where if they can mass produce these disks, they could just basically take over the galaxy a lot faster. So really enjoyed that. We've seen a cool scene from D Squad there. I think they kind of jumped the gun on that storyline, because we seen QTRT or whatever her name is from the 501st. Really cool seeing that droid there. Also from the Clone Wars. She was in the Clone Wars. So neat stuff there. And yeah, it seems like things are really heating up. We got one more issue of this series. And as I mentioned, we also have Doctor Aphra issue number 38. This one is called Truth to Liars. Of course, written by Alyssa Wong with Minkyu Jung, the dream team there. In this, we get to continue up on Tolvan, but first we get to see Aphra, the cliffhanger from last issue, had to go back to Sanastaros for help after they broke up once again, and things are not going so well. But then Dr. Aphra mentions that Magna Tolvan is in need, and then that is what gets Sanastaros to reunite once again. So it's her, just lucky. They were going with help from Leia to figure out exactly where this headquarters of the Dark Droids are, where the Scourge is. Same place that I just talked about, where they go to get this communications and disc out. That is where we have Aphra that goes and takes down Tolvan. And they have these special devices that were devised that can short circuit these droids and bring them back. Unfortunately, Tolvan is not savable, but then Dr. Aphra actually links with her with the Electro Tattoo and is able to get inside the mind of the Scourge. And she sees that the Scourge is actually vulnerable because the Scourge is spreading itself out so thin that it is not quite as powerful to hold on to the beings it currently has. So Aphra is really seeing the entire thing play out. And this is what my guess was from the beginning, is Aphra, since she has that connection to the Spark Eternal she had at once, she has a one-up on a lot of people. She's up to speed on all this data. What is going on here? She is on top of things, and we're getting to see how fragmented the Scourge is. Pretty cool. And in our last parting shot here is Dominant Tag. Unfortunately, it looks like she's been taken over by the Scourge. Yes, the Scourge have once again transcended first as mechanics and as cyborgs. Now they seem to have successfully gotten into organics. We've seen this with the Death Troopers in the last issue of Darth Vader, which came out last week. But man, oh man, this is really coming to a head. December is going to be a really big month for these comics because that's when all the resolution's going to happen. So much is happening already. And this is a proper Star Wars crossover. I'm really happy with where things are going. Nothing is getting, like War of the Bounty Hunters made the mistake often of having exact panels recycled in other issues that tied into the crossover. So at certain points, it felt like I'm only getting 3 new pages of a 26, 22 page story here. What's going on? These, Bounty Hunters, Star Wars, Doctor Aphra, Darth Vader, they're all working up their own storylines that are going to meld into the Dark Droids, as well as D-Squad as well. So I'm really liking where this is going. And if you guys want to hear more about my conversations in depth, you can go over to the Star Wars Underworld Network. There, me and Matthew Neugebauer from Ion Cannon Tractor Beam, we go every Thursday, except not this Thursday. We're taking a bye week. But every Thursday, we discuss comics in more detail. So if you want to get more of a back and forth between me and a very capable host of Matthew Neugebauer, then go ahead and check out that content next week or check weeks prior, because we get into about 45-minute episodes every Thursday around 12 p.m. Eastern Time. As far as for my channel here, go ahead, check out my Jedi Survivor playthrough. Have that all on the YouTube here, all 12 parts. That is going to do it for me, Star Raptor. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more, and may the Force be with you always.
Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at StarRaptor.